My name is Maggie Pia. I'm a graduate from the University of Nairobi with a bachelor's degree in urban and regional planning. I'm passionate in solving both spatial and unspatial problems. And what I've learned throughout my internship program is I've learned more how to be a team player, and also I've gained more skills using the Attachees products. So I'll hand it over to Said.
Thank you very much, Maggie. I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Bwana Said. I'm a graduate from Esri University. I've just graduated Bachelor of Science in Geoinformatics, and I'm very passionate in the field of survey and programming, specifically for modeling solutions used to solve environmental problems. Throughout the internship, I've bagged important skills to help me in the quest of creating and presenting simple and efficient solutions to be used in environmental conservation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Said. I'll hand it over back to, I'll welcome Dennis to introduce himself.
Yes, thank you, Maggie. I'm Dennis Begon from Western University. I studied geospatial information science with information technology. From a side, I'm passionate about using the GIS technologies or the geospatial technologies to solve the real problems that affect us in this world. So I'm passionate on my free times. I always map on OSM projects on the OSM communities, and I love adventure animals and I draw inspiration from them. So during my internship, I've learned so many things in the GIS aspects, the spatial data analysis, the data modeling and cartography. It has been a great experience using the this platform to do previous analysis. Yes, thank you. And now over to Maggie.
Thank you so much, Dennis. I'll hand it over to Vincent. Kindly introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vincent Okoth from JQuat. I studied geomatic engineering and geospatial information systems. And I generally enjoy using different tools to solve problems facing business and communities. From my internship, I've been able to discover the power of the Attachees family of products and how they can be integrated to a user's needs. On my part-time, I usually do some farming, and I'm also passionate about programming. Thank you.
Maggie, I guess you're on mute, or Juma.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Ian Tom Ogari Juma. I'm a geospatial engineer from the Technical University of Kenya. I am passionate about geospatial as a science, the art, and the usage of the discipline in the different industries. In Esri, I've learned about the different industry and how I can use my geospatial skills and the analysis in each and every industry. In the end of the internship, I hope to bring the knowledge products to the world. I am passionate about conservation and looking at the SDGs, and Esri has been a great step towards my goal in life. Yeah, so thank you very much for this opportunity. I will hand back to Maggie.
Thank you so much, Juma. I'll go next to Jonathan. Jonathan, kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Biakagaba Jonathan. I am a graduate of land survey and geomatics engineering from Ndeja University. I am passionate about urban planning, more so urban transportation. And I also love aeronautics since my childhood. In my free time, I play musical instruments, and I also love reading books, most of those that actually add value to me. During the time of the internship, I have come to appreciate the power of GIS and the wide suite that it has, using the applications of the GIS platform and getting to know how important they are in actually solving everyday problems that we have and face in the world. Surely, at the end of this all, I am very, very, very looking forward towards using them and making better and more informed decisions basing on the ArcGIS platform. Back to you, Maggie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for that. Now I'm going to welcome the first group, that is Vincent and Dennis. They're going to take us through ArcGIS solution for reforestation monitoring. Vincent, kindly take over.
Once more, good morning, everyone. I'm Vincent Okoth, and my partner is Dennis Biegon. And we'd like to talk to you guys a bit about our ArcGIS solution for reforestation monitoring. So just allow me to share my screen. And even as I share my screen, my partner can introduce himself as well.
Yes, I'm Dennis Begon, also I had communicated earlier. So we are working on a project on ArcGIS solution for reforestation. So we are going to take you through it, Vincent. Thank you.
Okay. So a little bit of some background information on our solution. Reforestation monitoring, or rather the subject of reforestation and afforestation, is something that we've all heard about. It's a conversation that most of us have encountered in our day-to-day interactions, whether with friends, colleagues, or maybe through the various news channels that we tend to visit on a day-to-day basis. And so back in 2017, the United Nations held its ever first forum on strategic plans for the forest. And guess what? The strategic plan of that particular meeting was to increase the world's forest area cover by 3%. That is from 2017 to 2030. Now, such conversation may it be on reforestation or afforestation, have been held before, not just at an international scale, but also at a local scale. Now, just recently, if we can recall, His Excellency, the President of Kenya, announced the plan to grow 5 billion new trees as part of his climate change mitigation agenda. So from all these conversations, a key thing to note is that as reforestation and afforestation efforts continue to scale, we need to have a conversation on how we can proactively assess the effectiveness of the interventions made. And now, this is what the ArcGIS solution you are just about to present in details to you comprehensively captures. So on to our problem statement. Now, various stakeholders, including communities and government agencies, have come up with initiatives to renew lost forest cover in a bid to mitigate the climate crisis. However, there are currently limited solutions on how to monitor the success of these reforestation programs. For instance, as I had earlier on spoken a few minutes ago about the initiatives that the initiative that the current Kenyan president talked about, the goal to plant maybe 5 billion trees in order to mitigate the effects of climate change. Can you ask yourself, how is this going to be monitored? At the end of it all, are we going to know whether these 5 million trees were planted and whether how they grew, whether at all, what percentage of such initiative or goals was achieved, and so on and so forth. Now, this project, or rather our solution, aims to build a GIS and remote sensing solution for monitoring reforestation success based on tree growth and survival within a 5-year period. And so I'll take you through our solution architecture. Our solution architecture, or rather how we are going to implement this reforestation success, consists of various segments. First of all, I'll start with the desktop, the web, and the device. These are generally platforms that can be used to access the portal. And the portal is more of an online repository that enables collaboration among teams, or maybe feedback from the public, executive access. And then our solution architecture also consists of a database. Now, for the web bit on our solution architecture, since we'll be talking about remote sensing, that is getting data from the Earth's surface without actually coming into contact with that particular region that we are studying. This web component is all about how we'll access data from different online repositories. Now, the desktop is where we interact with our data. Once you get your satellite data, what do you do with it? How do you process it? How do you get your particular area of interest so that you can focus on getting the data that you want for reforestation monitoring? And then the device. Now, since we all have access to mobile devices, what can we do about it? For instance, if you're a forester and there's so much data on reforestation that has been deployed maybe to the portal, and you need to confirm something on the ground, then that is actually possible via a mobile device. And then the database. Once you get your data from, rather, remote sensing data, I will keep on mentioning remote sensing data a lot. Once you get the remote sensing data from satellite imagery, where do you store them? And then now, still on the portal, I had earlier on mentioned a bit that the portal provides the interface for interactivity between different users. For instance, from the portal, GIS professionals or remote sensing professionals can access some of the content, maybe that they worked on the desktop for further analysis. From there, we can also have real-time documentation using the story maps. What's the progress of our, for instance, if we need to document the progress of our reforestation program, how are we going to do it? And then if you have workers on the ground who are monitoring, they are still connected to the portal. Now, let me take you through the workflow of how all this is achievable. first of all, we have to acquire satellite imagery from the readily available online repositories, for instance, Copernicus Hub. And then once you get your satellite imagery, what do you do with it? For instance, if you are an individual, you can get it to your local storage. But if you are operating at a company scale, then you can have it on your web servers. And then once you get the image that you have, and in our case, we use the Sentinel-2 image, and maybe you download it to your local repository, you can access those images from Attachees Pro, which is the desktop application that is provided by Esri. And on Attachees Pro, you now take your satellite imagery through various processing channels. For instance, if you had acquired an imagery that covers a very large area and you need to maybe extract just a certain area where you had planted your trees so that you can solely focus on that area, on observing that area. That is exactly what you do in Attachees Pro. And then since satellite imagery usually consists of different bands, you'll have to collect the bands that you want. For instance, if you want maybe just for visibility purposes, there is the red, green, and blue band. So that is also part of processing. You can acquire the data that, the bands that you need for your analysis. Now, once you've processed your data on Attachees Pro, what do you do with this data? You start calculating the vegetative indices. Now that's the next step after processing your data. And majorly, if you are trying to monitor reforestation access, you will need to focus on two vegetative indices. That is the modified soil adjusted vegetation index and the normalized difference vegetation index as acronym below my workflow. Now, if you're asking if you're asking yourself what are indices, or rather to break it down a bit, in the electromagnetic spectrum, we have let's say different bands, the red band, for instance, the blue, and the green band. And that is what enables us to see each other. I can see my neighbor, I can see the next building. Now there are several other bands in that spectrum. So an index is more of a refractive index. Whatever band that we have in the electromagnetic spectrum, once it hits an object, for instance, if it's the red band, what sort of reflectance does that kind of band get? Or maybe if it's the green band, the blue band, the near infrared band, what kind of reflectance does the target object give? And in our case, we have we are focusing on the forests. So that just still on the indices, by taking advantage of these reflectance values, we can be able to, maybe in the case of the MSAVI, the modified soil adjusted index, Now, assume that you've planted your seedlings in your area of interest. You have a reforestation program. You've placed your seedlings somewhere, and they are still a bit young. So with the modified soil adjusted vegetation index, you can monitor seedlings when there's a lot of bare soil. So it's able to tell you it's able to tell you how are my seedlings germinating, or is there a lot of bare soil? So it can be used to detect uneven seed growth. So this knowledge, for instance, if you are a forest manager, with such kind of knowledge, you can readjust your field management practices and ensure that there are more trees. For instance, if you notice that based on your reflectance, there's a lot of bare soil and you had made some planting, you can move to the field, as you'll be able to share in the subsequent slides, and then just confirm and take action. And now, once your seed germinate, now you move to the next index. Once your seed, your trees, or rather the seedlings that you planted germinate and start showing some life, then the M-Survey index will not be so useful in monitoring whatever you want. So what do? You pick another index, which is the NDVI, which is majorly a standard way to measure the health of vegetation. And the higher the value of this index, then the healthier the vegetation. Now, I've talked so much about the indices. And so once they're calculated, what do you do with them? You can use them to do a supervised classification. So based on your index, you can maybe identify where the forests are, the shrubs are, the plantation is, and the bare land is. And all this data, as you process them on the fly, you can send them to the portal. You can send them to the portal so that it can easily be accessible for other different activities. For instance, making of the web maps, sharing with different users, and so on and so forth. So I'll invite my partner to demonstrate on how some of these bits can be done.
Yes, thank you, Vincent. So I'm going to take you through the demo of our, after acquiring your satellite imagery and having them on your local machine. So what next you do? What are you doing? So I'm going to share screen. So yes, so when you have your data, so you've downloaded your imagery from the online repositories, either the USGS, the Copernicus app, the Sentinel app, where you can acquire your satellite imagery. Then now you have to do the analysis on the Attachees Pro. Then you'll have to add your data in the Attachees Pro platform, the Pro. Then you can click, I'm taking you the process now. So you can click where you have added them, where you stored your data. Then when you have your data, you can select the time spectral bands that you are going to use. Let's say you are going to RGB band 2, 3, and 4. Then 2, 3, and 4, and 8. Then you can add. Then after adding them, you'll find them there here. These are my bands. So I added the band 4, band 3, and 8. So after adding them, then this bands is a tile that covers a large area. So you can load your area of interest. After loading your interest, then you'll only have to work with the specified area. You have to remove the other area that you don't want to use. So you'll have first to have to combine these bands, the different bands to form one raster or one imagery that you're going to use. Then you can use a tool called compositing, whereby you'll have to composite the bands the spectral bands that you have. Let's say the band 3, 4, 8. Then after calculating that, you'll have to do the compositing of the bands that you downloaded that you are going to use for analysis. After doing that, you can run your analysis. And I've done so I named my bands as these my bands. So this is my composite image. So I'll have now to only work with my area of interest. So I'll have to extract by mass. So I'll use a tool called extract by mass in the geoprocessing tool, so that I can only clip the area or work with the specified area that I am working in. So you'll have the raster that you've composited, or you combine all your bands, the spectral bands, to one image. So when you click them, then you can input your area of interest, then you can now clip. After clipping now, then you come and see that you'll be working with this area of interest only. Your data will be in a small area that you can now work with on. You've removed data that you weren't going to use. From here, you can now perform the various classification that you wanted to do. You can do your NDVI. You can calculate your NDVI by using the tool that is in the geoprocessing tool, the imagery, and the geoprocessing, the index. Then now you can calculate the NDVI by calculating the band that you have, the near infrared and the band for the red infrared. After that, you can, after calculating that, then you have this as your NDVI. So this NDVI will enable to identify for you the areas that the vegetation or the forest cover is doing good, or the areas that they are performing well. So when you do NDVI, it helps you identify and compare the high and low vegetation of that area. So with the higher the vegetation index, the greener or the more the healthier that vegetation is. After that, you can also do the MSurvey, the modified soil adjusted vegetation index. So after that, the soil adjusted index will help you to identify the areas that to monitor or identify the areas that have bare land, the soils. So when you calculate the MSurvey using the indices also in this side, then you have the vegetation and soil. Then on this MSurvey, it's a tool that is already on the Attachees Pro platform. Then now you calculate, you input your bands that you are going to work with. Then you'll obtain these results. So this is my MSurvey. So my MSurvey will show me the areas that there are soils. So I can be able to know the areas that the vegetation is not doing well, or the forests didn't grow well. So within these areas that are brown, then I know that these areas are the ones that are associated with the soils, the reflectance of it is high, the MSurvey. So I know that this area, there were no plants, or I was able to see vegetation. I was able to see the soils in that area. So I will have to go back to this area, sell my foresters or rangers to go and do analysis, or use a field maps to go and know what's the reason of why the plantations of the forest trees that were planted in this area were not performing well. So after doing this, then now we want to know the area that has changed over time. Our analysis was a period of 5 years, from 2015 to 2021. So we did analysis from 2015 to 2021. So this is the analysis for 2021. So we did a classified image for this area. So I had to do a training of my samples. So I had to train this. So when you use a training cell, then you create some training samples. You can create your schema or load an already schema, or you can load a schema that you already have. So you can create one or load a schema that you have. So for mine, I had already created one. Then my tracing sites, then I already have on my local machine that I'm using for this analysis. So after creating your schema or the training sites as supervised for classification, then you can run the classification now on the raster layer that you have, the composite run that you had. So when you run, you classify them using the classification tools, classify them, then now you can use various classifiers that are there in the Attachees Pro. Then you can now load your training samples or training signatures where you loaded, then there mine are already loaded. So I did my classification. After doing a classification, then now see this my classification. Yes, after doing that, sorry, my internet is slow. So after performing your classification now, then you'll see the areas that are classified in the after classifying that the area, then now you can quantify or calculate the areas of that area. So after my classification, then now I can perform what is called so analysis. You want to convert this, it will create polygons. So okay, so from this, then also share this class first. I can share online layer. Then I now perform this raster, or I dissolve by a tool called convert my raster classified supervised classification. Then now, because it will generate so many polygons or same image it exists, so I'll have to convert them into vector polygons so that I can cut areas of that region. So after, and I can now dissolve so many polygons of that area. So you can see that in the area I have more than 900 polygons that were created on that area. So these polygons can now, because this to somehow give me the then I use as dissolve function on the Attachees platform using the dissolve function. Then you can dissolve you created the classification yes for 2021. Yes. Then after now you love your see you can
Dennis, just check your connection and then you can be back. Over to you, Maggie. You can have any questions or comments. Meanwhile, as Dennis sorts out his connection, and then he'll be right back.
Okay, as Dennis is sorting out his internet connection, Vincent, you can take us through.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. Dennis was talking about a lot of processing on Attachees Pro. But you might be asking yourself, why all this processing? Where do these results go to? And so, a minute as I share my screen. Meanwhile, you can drop your questions in the comment section so that we can make it a more interactive session. Okay, so all that Dennis was processing in ArcGIS Pro, once it's processed, he pushes it to the he pushes it to the portal as I'd shown, and from the portal you can now have a web map. And for instance, for this survey layer, on the left side, on the rather western side of the study area, we detected that there are some yellow patches depending on the color scheme. And this could almost tell us that trees were not doing so well in the year 2015 within this area of study. And so what do we do about it? We delineate that area, and that area can be accessed with ArcGIS field maps. Now, once you have your field maps, ready, you can actually show them on, you can actually access it on your mobile platform, which I'm just about to demonstrate shortly.
As the team prepares to demonstrate, feel free to drop any questions in the chat box.
Okay. Allow me to share my screen. I'd earlier on showed you a web map that had been generated from the survey indices that Dennis was demonstrating on ArcGIS Pro. Now, once you have that, and we picked an area of interest, we noted that there were the color scheme that we had there was a bit variant, and based on the analysis, it indicated that there could be a possibility that the trees that we were planting had not done so well on that particular section of the field. So what do? We create the web map, and then we can deploy a team to the field. And so our team can check the extract. And they can just filter. Once they're in the field, they can filter the layer. And as the layer filters, they can pick points. Let's say, assuming that this was our study area, they can pick points and make observations. Pick points, and then they can submit the date, their name, ID number, and any other value. And then they can also state why are our trees not growing? Is it because they are choked with shrubs or something of that sort? And then after that, they can give their comments, maybe replant, and then submit for decision making. Now, I'll call Dennis to demonstrate what we have on the dashboards.
after you've classified all the images, sorry for the internet distraction. So after doing your classification, then now you have to publish this. So you publish as a layer, then you have it on the ArcGIS dashboard. So you can observe the changes of the years over the years of the NDVI and know the areas that the vegetation of the forest are not doing well. So when you click on the year, then now on the lower land cover changes on 15, then you can observe the changes over down here. Then on 2018, you could see the changes that occur over those years. So on 2015, it was 30%, 2018 it was 48%, and on 2021 it was 51%. So there have been a good reforestation effects that were done in that place. So also you can choose the land cover on the whether the land cover. Then now you can calculate the area that were covered. So on our 2018, when you select on the forest, then you will see that on 2015, this was the forest cover. Then on 2018, you can see how it has changed over the time. On 2021, you can see that it has increased. So there was a good reforestation effect in that place. Also, you can use the bar graph to see. So on 2015, you can see 0.6 kilometers square of that area as it increased to 1.1 in 2021. So you could also observe in this story map this how it was in 2015 before reforestation was done. So this how it was the area of interest. So when we use a slider, then you can see that there have been a good reforestation effect that was done in that area. So basically these solutions help you to identify or to monitor the effects or the solutions that you are provided in that area and know whether you have been good management of those areas. These solutions can help you in evidence-based solutions, whereby you can deploy your forest rangers to go particularly the area that the M-Service showed you, either the area was a bare land, and now you can do your reforestation and monitor the forest in that area. Thank you. Back to Maggie.
Now, one thing, as Dennis has been taking us through this solution, processing of the bands, uploading them online, you might be asking yourself, what if I just want to have my results online without doing so much? Maybe you are committed somewhere, you have to attend meetings as an expert, but you still want the end product so that you can be able to proactively monitor whatever you are happening. Then this is very possible through ArcGIS Pro, and I can demonstrate shortly on how such processes can be automated. For instance, using the API tool or the Jupyter notebooks, when he was compositing his bands, this can basically be done using a few commands and then automated, so that if you need to rather do your analysis, you need to do your analysis from time to time without going so much into repetitive tasks, then it's made possible via that tool via the APIs in ArcGIS Pro. Now, lastly, there are also you might be asking yourself now, why do you have to go through all these processes? What does this solution help us to do? And so, first of all, this solution enhances the accuracy of reforestation monitoring, because we'll be having data. Now, it also gives you evidence evidence-based decision making. So based on the evidence you have, for instance, if you can see a particular section of your area of interest is not doing so well, you can decide on whom to deploy and what measures to take. It also facilitates proper utilization of resources, for instance, manpower, because you don't have to be sending your team to maybe with the foresters to go and check on whatever is happening without a clue of whatever they're supposed to check on. And then finally, this solution can also provide guidance on the design of forest monitoring systems. Thank you very much, and let me hand it back over to Maggie.
Thank you so much, Vincent and Dennis, for the presentation. In case you have any question, kindly type at the text at the chat box, then we shall get back to you. Next presentation will be done with Jonathan and Juma, and it will be about the ArcGIS solution for distribution and logistics, case study of Pepsi Cola. Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you, Vincent and Dennis, for the previous presentation. Juma, would you love to say something about Pepsi?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Jonathan. Thank you, Vincent and Dennis, for the nice presentation. I will start off with the presentation, ArcGIS solution for distribution and logistics. Case study is Pepsi Cola. Most of us here in Kenya, they know about Coca-Cola, but we haven't looked at what is Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola is a drink such as Coca-Cola. In 1898, Caleb Bradman in New Bern, California, made a drink called Pepsi Cola as a competitor to the current Coca-Cola. And over the years, it has grown to be a world-leading beverage and snack food company. Most of its market, and you can say most of the major of its market is in the US, but recently in Kenya, and over the years, it has started to grow and expand. And looking for this solution, we came up with a way we can improve the extension and the distribution of Pepsi Cola as a brand, and also for the products which are, when you look at maybe the internet or the feedback from people, I hope I'm not making anybody, because this is a personal opinion, tastes better. Yeah, and they also have a large variety of drinks. So we thought it was wise, or according to, let us look at logistics and distribution to increase the consumption and distribution of Pepsi and its other sodas to the Kenyan market. Or I can hand over to Jonathan to take us through the first part.
Thank you so much, Juma, for that brief background. So Pepsi Cola, we talk about distribution and logistics. Distribution, more about taking things from one place to another. And the logistics is how they actually move. Well, with Pepsi, everything starts down at the production line. The production line is at the factory. From the production line, our goods or our products are stored at the factory storage. This is where they get the batches, and they are stored for easy accountability. From there, we have the distribution. That is the very first stage to something that is called a point of distribution, or POD. What is this point of distribution? Because we are actually going to hear so much about it today. The point of distribution is, well, a depot or our local distributors. They're usually huge warehouses, or they are buildings that are sorted specifically to actually give us, so that the company brings from large scale into this, and then from the POD, we have a delivery, or from our depot, we have the delivery to our outlets. During this internship, I got introduced to something called Mama Mbogas. Those are the smaller shops, but then it could also be the supermarket. From there, the final product consumer. That is where we, you and I, including the people out there, get to the product. However, there is an issue that we have come to realize. There is an underutilization of the power that the PODs have when it comes to market structuring, when it comes to understanding what exactly is out there. This ends up giving us unnecessarily increased costs of production by making uninformed decisions. Uninformed decisions like in logistics, let us say, supposing a truck is traveling from Nairobi with goods, with our product, and it is half full traveling to Mombasa because we think that Mombasa is a big market, or having to take 3 trucks traveling to the eastern route, one taking to maybe Kitale, another one to Naivasha, and another one to Kisumu. Why not have one that takes through all? Well, all this loss leads to shrinkage in our competitiveness in the market and reducing our market share. Therefore, we are giving you an ArcGIS platform and utilizing it to better understand and make more informed decisions. Well, let's look at the solutions architecture, starting with the PODs. The PODs give us information. Well, that is the distribution capacity, the stock reports, weekly income reports. It is taken onto the company portal. From the company portal, 3 different levels, 3 different types of group people actually get access to this. Those are the professional GIS officers, the distribution and procurement department, and the logistics and maintenance department. When the data comes in, the GIS officers actually go ahead and clean the data, making sure that yes, it is up to standard. Then the distribution and procurement department makes sure that actually this is the data. From there, the logistics department actually gets the data and is able to dispatch the truck drivers out there. Let's look at the workflow in detail. So from the PODs, we get weekly sales and income. We get the stock orders. We actually also get territory map updates and market distribution records. All this on a weekly basis, and it is uploaded to the ArcGIS online company portal or the ArcGIS enterprise. From there, the data is taken in and we're able to create final routes and do the tracking. We're able to understand the financial trends and actually get PIs, which are performance indices. We're able to actually do fleet management and maintenance from information from the truck drivers. We're able to get territory map updates, and we're able to do target marketing. Right now, allow me to take you through the demo. Right now, let us start with business analyst. From here, we all know that all that we need or all that we have at the very beginning is the points. How do we import the points? With ArcGIS Business Analyst, first we set our country to Kenya. So when Kenya is set, all the data that we are going to get is specified to Kenya. That even allows in for space in case you are bringing in data and you're not sure of the coordinates. So we bring in our data and we import. We shall browse for the location where our data is. However, allow me not to do that because I already have done the importation of the points. And these are the points. We have 2 in Mombasa. We have 7 points of distribution around Nairobi, Nyeri, Embu, Nakuru, Kisumu, Kitale, and Migori. From these points of distribution, the company has set out that each point of distribution must reach 1 million people. So that means we are going to design thresholds. How do we design thresholds? We will run an analysis, threshold analysis. We input our point layer. From there, we shall pick our POD locations, and then we shall be able to run an analysis based on the name. However, please note that it can only take a maximum of 10 items at a go. Let's have a look at the outcomes. So looking at Nyeri, Nyeri is at the footsteps of Mount Kenya. The yellow area is actually one of our thresholds. The threshold that was set was 100,000 people. The orange buffer reaches 500,000 people. And then the green reaches 1 million people. However, from this is just data that is online. How exactly am I going to define my territories? From there, I generate territories basing on the sites. I'm able to actually understand and create a boundary basing on the number of villages that I have gotten, and this gives me a territory. And I name that my territory Nyeri territory. Business Analyst has given me the ability to actually get infographics, and this I will show you next. So from all these territories, we are supposed to get data. What is this data and how do we get it? This data is actually gotten from Survey 123, another member of the ArcGIS platform. All the territory manager, all he's going to do is fill in the date. What's the date today? 15th. He's going to set his territory. Let's say Mombasa. Depot, Pepsi Mombasa. What's the territory manager's name? Jonathan. The distribution address, we'll type in Mombasa, Kenya. We'll make sure that that is there. Type in the floor space. Give us the Pepsi sales over a week, Mirinda sales over a week, and 7-Up sales over the week. Then he will place orders for his depot. When he's done, he can submit. When it's submitted, it automatically updates my data center here. And this is what the person who is in the GIS office is going to be seeing. Now, these people are actually meant to clean the data. For example, I see a faulty point here. So I'll click on it and I will go ahead and edit it. Where is the issue? It looks to be in location because it's not meant to be in North America. Now, since the GIS people have access to all this data, all he will do is get to the distribution address, change the distribution address. I'm sure it's not standard building. It is supposed to be standard building, standard street, Kenya. Once he's done editing that, he will submit. And upon submission, we can notice that the map updates and our point is in Kenya. But where does all this data go? It comes up to the dashboards. This that you see right now is a dashboard showing the distribution and the territory performance. This dashboard has our points of our territories. From the territories, I remember informing you about the demographics that are gotten from Business Analyst. This is where they are. We can get the weekly sales of Pepsi, Mirinda, 7-Up, the orders. the trend of how the market has been working, and some information about the market. For example, right now we're having a look at Kisumu. We can get to know and make more informed decisions knowing that Kisumu territory reaches a total of 1,358,290 people, of which 48.4% are male and 51.6% are female. All this is data from ArcGIS Business Online. We can also get to know the way the population is actually presented. We can now know that 40% of the people in Kisumu are aged between 0 and 14, and they are male, and 38% are female. This actually gives us a better understanding of what exactly the market looks like. Let's take an example of Nairobi CBD, one of our best performing. It gives us the number of sales, and when it comes to target marketing, since we know that most of the people, 36% being female, aged between 15 and 29, I'll be able to do my marketing basing on that. For example, I may put up billboards showing ladies of that same age group doing, since our Mirinda is performing best in this territory, my billboards maybe will show my Mirinda products. If I want to pull up Pepsi sales, I'll put Mirinda products and a bottle of Pepsi. This is not only what we can do, we can also do KPI tracking. KPI tracking gives me the ability to actually understand how have my sales been over time per territory. I can get to know what was done last month. KPI being key performance indicators, I also need data for this month. This is shown by the gauges. For example, this month from Mirinda sales alone, given my target of 15.5 million as compared to last month, 15.9, which came in, I have reached 7.95 million. I can get to understand and even compare. For example, I want to get to know how Nairobi area is working. So Nairobi area has actually brought in 4.09 million for Mirinda. I can also get to know the market share of each of my PODs, my points of distribution. In this case, Nairobi Central, in the whole of Nairobi, has a 13.19% market share. Nairobi Central still has a 17.3 when it comes to Mirinda, and it has a 13.19 again when it comes to 7-Up. That means this territory doesn't really have very much to offer when it comes to the general sales. At this moment, allow me hand over to my compatriot, Juma, please.
Yes, Jonathan, thank you very much for the distribution. As people have seen, this is how we get to the market. This is how the distribution, this is it shows how we made territories and how we got to the market, and the sales that we are getting from the market. Right now, I'm going to show you the logistics part. How we getting the sodas from the factory to our depots, and how our depots will be able to send the sodas back to the distributors or the mama mbogas, as we said. Allow me to share my screen. You can all see my screen. Okay, so I'm going to start on workforce. What is workforce? For a business manager who has a large number of people working under him and is having troubles of getting activities together. He has people in the field, he has people on the roads, he has people in office, and you want all that information to come together. What does workforce do for you? Workforce coordinates the workers. It routes them to service calls. Yeah, so when you get a call somebody on the field, you can locate where a worker is on the field, and you can be able to send him to where he or she is required. Also, Workforce enables you to get data back to the office so that the data can be used by your people, the office staff, to do one or more things. So I'm going to show you how to simply configure Workforce and how it works. So first of all, you start with the assignment types. You have to know which assignment types you have. For Pepsi Cola, we have the delivery part and we have the location of the new sites. First of all, I'll deal with the delivery part, and then my counterpart, Jonathan, will come again with a little introduction on business analyst on finding the suitable sites, and then I'll show you how we dispatch workers to those sites. We have the users. These are the workforce and the people on the ground. As you can see, we have the mobile workers, we have the dispatchers. The dispatchers are the people who send or the people in office who assign tasks to the workers on the ground. And then we have the advanced options. These are the apps and the many apps that Attachees offer you so that you can that integrate to Workforce so that you can ensure smooth workflow for everything that you do. This enables for smarter decision makings and little or no paperwork. So we have Earth Explorer, which will integrate the map to your workforce. We have the field maps, which will be able to, your workers on the ground will have them on their phones, and they can be able to collect data on data that they have been sent to, and it can be sent back to the office in real time. I'll show you how we configure that. We have Navigator. Navigator helps you to improve the routes. You have Google Maps, for example, and Google Maps, when you move from one point to another, sometimes you get it's taking you through the longest route, or it has trouble configuring. For Attachees Navigator, it ensures it optimizes the routes, so that saves on cost of traveling, and it saves on the cost of the road. The Attachees Survey 123, this is one that the data, this is the one that people who have been sent, or the field staff, they will feed the surveys, and the data can be sent and worked on. Jonathan has shown you some part of the Attachees 123, and the data that is filled there, that helps to create the dashboards that give insights. So I will take you directly to Workforce and show you one or two things what Workforce can do. This is the dashboard for the dispatch. This is the person in office, and you're looking at your people on the ground, and you're looking at the assignments on the ground, you're looking at the routes. Yeah, so we can hear, like for now, we can see there are 3 people who are active by the green buttons. If I click on one of them, I can click on Vincent, and we can see Vincent Walker is one results. Yeah. Let me click on another one that is maybe the routes are coming over. We have like Jonathan on the ground. We can see he's active. He's in Kampala. He has been assigned. He has 3 assignments, and his status is working. He's right now, he's in Intinda, Kampala. So this helps to track your workers on the ground. Provided the GPS is on, we can know where the worker is. You don't have this scenarios where you're calling person, you don't know where he is. Provided you have Workforce, you can just open it and you'll know where the worker is. And this enables for faster delivery and competence on the ground. Here we can assign assignments. We have pick type, we have the delivery. I'll deal first with the delivery. So the delivery, you select the assignment, you go back to your mark as the dispatcher. On the map, you can see the different assignments. You can have the different depots, which are labeled green. This is a green one, is a depot. So when I click on the depot, I can the address automatically comes to here. So we have a depot in Wangige, Kiambu, and I'm going to assign this to Juma, and I'm going to put the priority. Is it a high priority, medium, or critical? Let's say this one is a medium one. We have also the due date. You can able to schedule your assignments to 10 days, a month, a year. Yeah, it helps you to schedule your assignments. So I can say I need this delivery done by 21st of this month. By what time? By 10 a.m. I have the ID, which inputs, it labels for specific identification of each worker. So ID for Ugari Juma is 1000. And here in the description, I can describe what is he delivering. He's delivering 70 crates of Pepsi to Wangige. This is the extra information that sends to the worker. So when I create the assignment goes to the phone of the phone of Juma. So if he has a phone, if Workforce is also installed in his phone, now he can see. If you go back now, you can see the assignments that have been assigned out. We can see the status, how many have not been assigned. We can see the delivery to Migori and Nakuru have not yet been assigned. We can see which assignments have been assigned. We can see these ones and the workers who are assigned to them. And also, it offers you a platform where you can call the worker. So for example, if Vincent is not, I don't have to go and pick my phone and start looking for Vincent's number. Where is he and where should I call him? I just come, call Vincent, and then it will take me directly to associated app, which is a phone for your Windows, and it will call him. Going back, I want to show you how Workforce work on the phone and how the worker responds and what he does with the actives on the phone. So we can connect to my phone. I hope you can all see my screen. Yeah, so the worker opens Workforce on his phone, and looking at the first site, you can see all the assignments that he had been assigned. There's location of new sites, there's delivery, there's location and delivery. So he can pick one of the assignments, for example, delivery. It takes me straight to the depot. I know there's a depot in Githunguri, and I have my assignment of a batch of orders I need to deliver at that point. And I can start the assignment to take me to the delivery. This is the point where Navigator comes in. For me to navigate to the right site, I open Navigator on my phone, and it starts setting the routes to the distributor. Let me start Navigator. Also, when he reaches at the site, what happens? He has the orders and the batch that he is taking on the ground. That is where Survey 123 comes in. On Survey 123, he can open the assignment on his phone. He can open the assignment on the phone and take in data about and feed in the data. For this one is a delivery assignment. So we are going to look at what information he's going to feed about the depot. Let me connect it. Yeah. So I'm going to show you the survey. Also, we have the other application that you can use, which is, you see, I've received a notification about the delivery about Wangige. So it shows you the worker receives the notification. So we're going to take the survey, signing in into ArcGIS. So takes me directly to the survey. So at the survey, what is there? This is the supervisor, the people who are going to grant the supervisor and the driver. For now, we can take Jonathan as the supervisor, which gives the address. If he clicks on the address, he will input the address of the place he's going. And we have the driver. When the driver puts in his name, he puts also the truck number so that you can know which truck was sent on the ground. We also have the distributor name where we are delivering the good. We have the brands. So we can say I've delivered Pepsi, Mirinda, and 7-Up to Wangige. We also have the number of crates. Yeah, there's a 1 liter crate, there's 500 mils. These are the batch levels, the batch that have been sent and how many numbers have been sent on the ground. So with this information done, you send it to the office. So it sends it to the server, sends it to Attachees online, and sends it to the office. The person goes back to the navigate to the ArcGIS workforce and finishes the assignment. So that is how you get an assignment. It ensures faster delivery and also filling of data on the form, and we can know if the order has been made or it has not been made. So for now, I will talk to Jonathan. He will take you through the suitability analysis of the suitable sites, and then I can show you how we locate the new sites using a new very good app called Field Maps. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Juma. As we may see, this is it's actually an extract from Business Analyst. Business Analyst also allows us to give weighted decisions concerning our suitabilities. For example, we already have our maps, our existing territories, but we want to find out, basing on let us say 50% population, 20% house density, and 30% people's purchasing power. From there, we're able to generate areas that actually fit our criteria. From these areas, we're able to actually carry out more understanding and create dummy territories. For example, this is a dummy territory because we have understood from our analysis that in the Eldoret, we actually do not have anything, and we actually it's something that it's a place that can actually fit in to our data, or it can be a good place to feed in our new depots. So we actually create a dummy territory. After finding out the dummy territories, we're able to compare that with our existing territories and get to know that, oh, so this is where we are. We have just seen that Eldoret is open, and it is here next to our territory in Kitale. However, would someone from the city of Eldoret really want to go all the way to Kitale to get stuff, to get our products? We then map our competitors. Where are these people? We get to notice in Eldoret, there is actually someone further up north. There's someone in Kakamega. So none of our competitors is in Eldoret, and Eldoret is a very good place basing on what we have found out. Then we do mapping of our existing territories and both, so that we can be able to find out exactly where can we put our new territory, where can we put our headquarters. Back to you, Juma.
Thank you, Jonathan, for that. Right now, so we understand what suitability is and how we came up with these points. So how do we get to those points? That is where I come in. In the logistics part, we need to get to those points, and we need data. So using the data that we have, that is where Field Maps comes in. In Field Maps, we have to configure the right criteria that you have. Right now, we can see, let me share my screen. Right now we can see on the ground, we have criteria that we need. We have the agent, we have the distributor name, we have criteria like water, electricity, security, road network, loading zone, internet, and drainage. These are just some of the values that when we are considering a site, are they enough? And these are the points we are going to look for on the ground. As Jonathan said, we came up with the new territories that where we can put our distributors. Now we need to send angels on the ground to come and look at this. And with this, we come with an option of a geofence. What are the geofence? What is the purpose of a geofence? A geofence enables us to not create sites where there are already sites to prevent a situation of things like market cannibalism. In Kenya, we have an example of where somebody opens an M-Pesa shop and 2 months later or a month later, there's somebody who opens there. Why does that happen? It's because maybe the information from this shop, the other person got was this shop is making a lot of money, and somebody tries and comes in, post up his shop there. So that's why you have our markets, we have our competitors on our maps, we have the location of we find suitable locations, and we have our existing territories. This enables us to locate shops and find areas that there are no shops already. And also use the geofence so that when we send our agents on the ground, if he enters an area and find that there's already a shop near there or an existing distributor, he gets a notification on his phone. So this enables us to get the optimal site to set up new markets. I want to show you again on my phone on how I'm going to the logistics part of sending somebody on the ground and ensuring he gets the right information to the office for the management to make a better decision. So going back to my WorkGIS workforce, I'm just going to go quickly through it so that you can understand everything that happens. So in the application, we can send somebody on the ground. This is how you do it. By creation of an assignment, this is how it happens. So when you create an assignment, the same way you had created, you pick a location, delivery, you assign it to a person, you set the priorities, which is important to know if that region is needed or not. We have the ID of the person and the description of the assignment. That's how you still set up the assignment and you send somebody in the ground. And that is the information they receive on their phone. I want to show you how to reconnect. I want to show you how the person on the ground, what happens when the person gets to the ground. So getting on the ground, he will have his workforce, opens the workforce, clicks on the site that he has been sent to. Maybe it's now it's Kitui. It will take you straight to that point that is one of the sites that needs to be checked upon. Starts the assignment, he can take a photo and attach it to and send it to the office so that people can understand, can see for themselves if that point is suitable or not. It can also open in field maps, and we can see you have to put your location sharing so that you can track the person on the ground, and also he can get in notification from the geocode. How long is it? You can also put the hours until I turn this off.
Juma, I request for some more speed time.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so opening on the ground, I can collect a point on the ground. What am I collecting? A distributor. I can take a photo, I can input my agent name, the distributor name, and also input the criteria directly from the ArcGIS field maps. Yeah, so collection of data is easier, and that is how it's done. And at last, from my side, we have the dispatch dashboard. This is the top management dashboard. What are they seeing? What is happening on the ground? Yeah, from here we can see the assigned, unassigned assignments, the in progress, the completed one, the post, and the declined. We can also see the workers on the ground. The top management can click on a worker and it directly takes you to where the worker is and what he's doing on what is happening and the assignments that he has been given. We can also see the selected assignments, how many assignments are there. If we click on unassigned, we can see the unassigned assignments. We can also see the declined ones. We can also see the ones that have been posted. On my side, we also on this dashboard also we have the field operators. You can know from just looking at it how many are working, how many are not working. We can also see the total personnel on our team. We also see the total field operators, the ones who are working and the ones who are not working. So from my side of logistics, I think that is how you can configure Workforce and other assisting apps to assign and monitor your field personnel on the ground. Let me take back to Jonathan as we wind up on our presentation. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you so much. As we conclude, we have come to realize that yes, it's not only work. It does not only work with Pepsi Cola or such franchises, but it can also work with fast moving consumer goods, services and everything.
Yeah.
So the benefits of our solution, well, we have seen performance indicator monitoring for each POD. We have seen better understanding of the market and the power of the PODs. We have seen better improved target marketing, financial trend tracking, better, more informed route planning and maintenance scheduling.
Yes.
From the team at Esri, thank you so much. We have been Jonathan Byakagaba from Uganda and
Ian Tom Ogarijuma from Kenya. Thank you very much for listening in. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Back to you, Maggie.
Okay, thank you so much, Juma and Jonathan, for the nice presentation. In case you have any question, kindly raise your hand or use the
we were the first
and use the chat box. And
Jonathan, mute. Jonathan, please mute. Okay,
please,
proceed.
Thank you.
Okay, and there's this question Nashon Adero has asked on the reforestation presentation. I would like to welcome Dennis to give a response to this question. Dennis, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Maggie. Yes, thank you, Nashon, for the questions. Yes, that's the classification. Some people talk of barren land and others talk of bare land. So the difference and the similarity of this I can say that for the bare land, this can describe the area that is undeveloped or unoccupied, whereby a land can be in a good state that is able to support vegetation to grow, but now currently there's no any vegetation in that area. So I could say that the bare land is the one that is unoccupied, but it has a potential of supporting a life of vegetation, while the barren land is barren land is that land that, you can classify barren land as a place that doesn't support any vegetation or any plant in that region, whereby in case of the soil content there, it doesn't support any life or any development in that. Maybe the area is rocky, but depending on your area of study, then with the characteristics of that area of interest, then now you'll have to classify according to the climatic conditions of that area. So in my similarity, the difference to me is that bare land is the one that can support some plant vegetation, but currently it's unoccupied or there's no plant growing there, while barren land is that can support any life of any plant grow there, and also no any development can be done in that area. So that's my understanding for future or taking or way forward. This can be discussed with various scholars or any researchers that you can differentiate both what can be taken during the classification. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dennis, for the clarification. On the presentation, that Jonathan and Juma have made, is there anyone with a question? Kindly raise your hand, or you can just type at the chat box. Is there any other question? Okay, so if there is no other question, I'll proceed to the next presentation. And before that, I'll just welcome Jonathan to take over.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you for the work well done so far. If you may, please feel free to use the webinar chat to ask any questions. Right now, we are moving next to a project which involves the leveraging of ArcGIS in the tourism industry. And this will be given unto us by Maggie Pierre and Mbwana Said from Tanzania. Over to you, Maggie and Mbwana.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for that. My name is Maggie Pierre, and together with my colleague, who is Said Mbwana from Tanzania, we are going to take you through the leveraging ArcGIS for tourism management. So first of all, I'll begin by describing what tourism is, the type of tourisms that we have in the world, and together what tourism management is all about. So tourism is all about the movement of people from one country or one place to another for different purposes. That is such as leisure. We have, yes?
You may just want to put it on presentation mode.
Okay, sorry for that. Okay, sorry for that. So I'll begin with to define what tourism is. Tourism is all about movement of people from one country to another, or one place to another. And people move for different purposes. Some move because of scientific research, some because of leisure activities, and some because of academia. So we have different people who come inside the country or inside any county for different reasons. Then we have the 5 main types of tourism. We have the nature and wildlife, culture, heritage, and community-based, adventure, agroeconomic tourism, water sports, health, and wellness. All these are the 5 main categories. And the nature and wildlife, it's all about the national park. Culture, heritage, this deals with anything like the museums, the different cultures that we have around Africa. Adventures can be in form of hiking, riding bikes. Then we have the agroeconomic tourism. It's all about plantations. Water tourism and health and wellness is all about the sports that are there, for instance, the boat riding. Then lastly, because our topic was about leveraging ArcGIS with tourism management, I would want you to understand what tourism management is all about. Tourism management involves the management of all the activities that are around tourism. That can be the tour destination, planning the tour, making the travel arrangements, accommodation. All this is managing tourism. And I'll begin with my problem statement. So under the tourism management, we have 3 main categories, whereby we have tourism marketing, we have tourism marketing, we have tourism planning, and tourism research and development. So one of the issues that we have recently in our tourism sector is that it has been neglected so much, such that as much as it brings more revenue to the country, we find that the sector has been neglected, yet it earns the country more revenue. For instance, last year, that is the year 2020, through tourism, Kenya was able to get around 200 and something billion. What does this mean? This means that if we develop, or if we have a keen interest on the tourism part, we shall have more generation of income. So the problem that were identified from this sector, one was the poor marketing strategies in the tourism sector, use of poor technology in tourism planning, and unbalanced development and poor research methods within the tourism sector. And we had 3 main objectives, whereby our first objective was to ensure some balanced tourism development in the region. By this, we shall have special tools. For us to have a balanced development in the region, we need to understand the region better. And for us to understand the region better, we will use maybe the Survey 1 to 3 tool, that is the GIS tool, to obtain surveys from the different tourists who have visited the region. Then we have to ensure proper marketing strategies. because under the tourism sector, we have been having poor marketing strategies. So with this, how shall we leverage GIS? We shall come up with a virtual tour that is via the story map that will be able to assist us to explain more on the type of tourist sites that we have, being that our case study was Homa Bay County. So we shall have the different tourist sites with the map tour, so that as we present it to the tourists, the tourists can be able to see, if I'm to go to such a place, what will be the feel in such a place. Then the last objective was to ensure proper use of technology in tourism planning. Okay, recently, the year 2020, there was some research that were done, for example, in one of the tourist sites that is in Bala Hot Spring, whereby it was identified that that hot spring is good and has potential for geothermal power. But currently it has just been left like that. Why? Because the method that was used, they didn't use proper method. But with this, we can use the ArcGIS tool to get a proper way with the technology to get the tourism planning. So next, we are going to have the proposed solution architecture, and I'm going to welcome my colleague, Said Mbwana, to take us through this. Said, welcome.
Thank you very much, Maggie. So I'm Bwana Said from Tanzania. So as Maggie introduced to you, he has well introduced to you our project, the objectives of our project. So I will now show you how GIS can be leveraged for tourism management. So what you're seeing now is a proposed ArcGIS solution architecture. So simply, this demonstrates how we can play with the functionalities of ArcGIS to meet our project objectives. And that is management of tourism at Homa Bay County. So at the bottom left, you see we have our tourism database. So here is where we are going to store all the data sets that we have collected from data collection. So we'll be having points layers, we'll be having tabular data, and all this will be processed by the professional GIS, and they'll be stored in the database. And so this information stored in the database can be accessed by field operators, by non-GIS users, and also by professional GIS users. So the professional GIS users will now then prepare outputs such as maps, useful layers, even web apps, and these can be shared by the public at large and the executives responsible in the tourism sector. So what have been prepared by the professional GIS and the data that have been collected by the field operators is used to produce useful outputs. They can be accessed via the desktops or via the devices such as phones and tablets through the web. So next, moving to the next slide. Now that we have seen how solution can be created, so let's look in details the tools and methods used to meet our project objectives. So we starting with data collection. So we used a survey 123. This is the tool in ArcGIS. So this tool simplifies the digital data collection in the sites, and it is directly stored in ArcGIS Online. Also, we downloaded data to be used while preparing our web maps from Hot Export tool. And both these spatial and non-spatial data sets that have been collected, some were processed used ArcGIS Pro and to get clean data that can be useful in generation of our output. So the data sets that were processed in ArcGIS Pro were stored in a geodatabase and then shared in ArcGIS Online. So by using the tools available in ArcGIS Online, we managed to create our final products, and that is the web maps and the web apps, together the dashboards. And all these outputs that we created will be shared by the public and will also be accessed by the executives. That is the managers at the tourism department and also other managers in other sectors which work hand in hand with the tourism department. So now we're about to present the solutions from our project. So tourism management is divided into 3 categories. So there is tourism marketing. So there is also tourism planning, and there is tourism development and research. So we have created outputs. So we are going to see a web app in which it will help in tourism marketing. So we'll also see how this web app can be used by the tourists. Also, ArcGIS has a beautiful tool in which we can present stories in terms of maps. So we are going also to see a virtual map tour of the tourist sites available at Homa Bay. Also, there is tourism planning. So we are going to show you how ArcGIS tools can be used to monitor and control tourism activities. So we performed some analysis from the data we have collected, and this will be then used. We can then present to you how they can be used to monitor and control tourism activities. Also, on the section of tourism development and research, so we are going to show you how we use the survey 123 to collect data sets in the fields, and this can be used in research. And we will also show you how we present the results from the survey so that they can be used for development in this tourism sector. So I would like to hand it over to Maggie to start with the demos.
Okay, as I start, I'm going to take you through the tourism development and research. This is because for us to have proper tourism management, we need to know more about the tourist sites. We need to know what to have that feedback that is from the tourists themselves. We need to have the feedback from the different sectors that deals with tourism. That's why we are going to have the survey 123. And for presentation, we are going to have the dashboards. So as what we have presented, we are going to have the dashboard such that we can give you the view, or we can explain the view to the different people. So I'm going to begin. Just a minute. Okay, I'm going to begin with the first demo. And first, because we used the web app in that we wanted the different individuals to understand the specific tourist sites that you are visiting. Remember, we are not assuming anyone has knowledge in Homa Bay County. So as we are placing all the tourist sites, we want to know if we want you to understand, is this an island? If not, where is it placed? What are the roads there? So that's why we came up with this tourist map, such that you can be able to check. So if you click on this, you'll be able to see that this is the Abasuba Community Peace Museum. So if you want to go to this kind of museum, or if you want to visit a museum that is in Homa Bay County, you'll have the heads up that this specific tourist site is located in an island. So for instance, we also have another one here. This is Rusinga Island. Then you'll be able now to understand and have a feel, because as you click, you can also see that they have photos. This is showing you that if you want to go to that place, before you visit that place, you have to know more about it. And this is one of the marketing strategies that we would want to use. So as we have this on the ground, we also felt like we can leverage ArcGIS.
Hi,
Yes.
Maggie.
Yes.
We are seeing your PPT. We are not seeing the demo screen. Could you please reshare your screen?
Okay. Okay, sorry for that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that. So this is our web map. This map is it's just showing the tourist sites. So for instance, if I click here, this is the Abasuba Community Peace Museum. So for instance, I want to go to Homa Bay County and I want to visit a museum. Once I click there, it will give me more information and it will be able to tell me that this place is in an island. So as I'm preparing myself to travel, I'll have that heads up that I'm going through a journey and I'm going to have to use the water, being that it's on an island. Then after we have the tourist sites on the map, we also used GIS, that is the virtual tour tool that is located inside the story map. This virtual tour tool is just to give you a feel. Remember, one of the problems that we are solving is poor marketing strategy. So if we have if we use the virtual tour map, for instance, if this is Ruma National Park, I'll be able to see, yes, it's located here. And for me to understand more about it, I'll have something like a video. So before you visit that area, you'll be able to see this is what you'll be able to see. And if you're interested in you would want to visit the area. So apart from Ruma National Park, we have maybe the Simbi Nyaima. So if you want to visit this place, this is just a virtual tour map whereby it can give you a feel of the type of place that you are going. So this we can do this for all the tourist sites that we have in the area, so that as we are visiting Homa Bay County, maybe you don't have any knowledge on the tourist sites that are in this area, but using this virtual map, you can be able to see that you have a lot of tourist sites, hence you can be able to explore the area. So after that, remember, we also had to have we had 3 sections, remember? So what I've tackled is all about tourism planning, whereby we have dealt with the virtual map tour for every tourist before you visit the site, for you to have a feel on what you're going through. And remember, all these tools, you can as well use it via your mobile phone. So as long as you have the link to this and it's shared publicly, you can just log in and you'll have the feel also via your mobile phone. So this is also a feedback survey, whereby now this is under the tourism development and research. Remember, for us to have the proper management, we need to get feedback from the different tourists that have come in. The feedback will help us, one, to have more development, and also the feedback will also help us to know what we are dealing with. So for instance, in the first question, we have the age group. For instance, if I choose 18 to 14 years, this is just, the age group is there because we want to have a feel after, when we are making more development, what category of people are we dealing with? Who were you able to travel with? Is it the children? Is it the spouse? Remember, different children, the children and the spouse have different facilities. Like if, for instance, what a child will be interested in, it's not what me as a big person will be interested in. So if we have more children visiting, it means that we need to focus more on the tourist activities that involve children. Then we have the main purpose for our travel. All this is for us just to have a feel and a feedback and more development. Because if, for instance, I choose leisure and holidays, what does it mean? It means that what has made me to come to Kenya or to come to the county, I just want to enjoy myself. And for me to enjoy myself, there are specific activities that I need to involve myself with. Then the tourism activity, I will choose either the nature of heritage. This is just to have a feel. Because remember, under the tourist management, we also have tourist planning, whereby we have to monitor and control the tourism activities that are around there. So even if we discover that nature and wildlife is taking the bigger part, we would want to control the activities. Because remember, if we have more people visiting, for instance, the national park, the more people visit, it also has a negative impact into the ecosystem of the tourist site. Then this is a transportation network preference. I'll choose air. This is just for us to have a feel, because remember, transportation network also affects the tourism department. Then this is accommodation, and also the preferred social media network site. This is because remember, we also have the marketing. We need to up on our marketing strategy, because we may think that maybe advertising on the television will bring us more customers, but we end up to find that most of the people, maybe they use the Instagram social media platform. Then the rate of the experience level, for us to know if your experience was good or bad. Then once you submit, we shall be able to get the results. And from the survey feedback is when we came up with the dashboard. So from this dashboard, we're able to identify, for instance, like for the people who are able to fill the feedback survey, the higher percentage, they came in Homa Bay County for leisure and holidays. What does it mean? It only means that these people, they didn't come for any business trip, they didn't come for any scientific research. What brought them is leisure. So as we are planning and as we are coming up with the tourist things, we should know that, and I know that at the back of our mind, what we must do, we must come up with different leisure activities. Like we need just to be innovative for these tourists to enjoy. Then these are the preferred mode. Most of them preferred the water transport. This only means, like for instance, in Homa Bay County, we only have 2 trips that are used at the water bus. So if you are to go at the island, you need either to go in the morning or in the evening. And from the feedback, if you get that most people are interested in the water transport, it means that we need to improve on our water transport system. Apart from that, also the facilities that are there at the water port, we also need to improve on them. This now is the type of accommodation. We can see that most people prefer the cottages and the resorts compared to the hotels. Initially, it might be the hotels, but we see now the cottages and the resorts are taking over. This is only giving us a heads up that as we are coming out with better, even as we are looking for investors, they need to invest more on the cottages, the resorts, and for the hotels, we need to have an upgrade of the results. Then this is just a hotspot analysis. Now, this is under the monitoring and control of tourism activities. This is under the tourism planning. Remember, we had 3 parts. So under tourism planning, we wanted to identify which area do these people mostly visit. Because you see, like for this, we find that most people visit Ruma National Park. The pink one, because it's the hot pink, it means that most people visit this place and this place and this place. But you remember, there are these other places that are not visited. What does it mean? Most of the people are not interested in these other areas, but are only interested in this. So for us, as the tourism sector, we need, if we have excess people visiting Ruma National Park, we need to come up with a way or a mechanism that will control them, because the more they visit, remember, they have a negative impact also to the ecosystem that is there. And also the hotspot analysis can be able to assist us as we are coming up maybe to the developed areas. We need to know which areas should we develop more than the others. For instance, here we can't put more emphasis on this upper part than we do on the Ruma National Park. So this is just a dashboard that was presenting. This is one of the tools that the Attachees tools that is used to present on what we have. After we have the survey, this is the kind of dashboard we have, so that now we can be able to analyze. As we analyze the data that we collected through the survey, we can be able now to come up with better decisions for proper development. Okay, I'm going to invite my colleague, Said, who will take us through the other Attachees tool, that is the route planning analysis. That is an app together the service management, and all the route planning analysis and the service management will assist us also in tourism marketing. Remember, before I visit a certain area, I need to know if I'm coming from Ruma National Park and maybe I want to go to Simbi Nyaima, how long would it take me? If I want to go to one place to another, for instance, the hotels, which is the nearby hotel that is around Ruma National Park. So so that as I am planning, I may be able to understand that if I'm visiting Ruma National Park, the nearest hotel that I can stay, it is at this hotel. Okay, Said, kindly take over.
Thank you very much, Maggie. So Maggie has taken you through, so at the beginning we said that the main objective of this project is tourism management. So Maggie has taken you through how we have used Attachees tools for tourism planning and tourism development and research. So I'm now on the last bit. So this is the final demo. I'm going to show you how we are going to tackle the issue of tourism marketing. So using the ArcGIS, there is a tool which is called the Experience Builder. So this is a beautiful tool used to create web apps. It can be someone can create web apps either whether he or she has no knowledge with programming, or even if you have knowledge of programming, so you can use this tool to simply easily create web apps. So when you open the web app, so the first page is the explore, is the one which will be used for tourists to explore Homa Bay. So we have a web map, so tourists can interact with the web app to see the features available in this area. And we can see in the right-hand side, you can see that this is Bala Hot Spring. So tourists can hover around this map and look at the features available in this map. Also, in addition, we don't want the tourists when they visit Homa Bay to feel stranded. So we have the navigation tool. So this tool will help the tourists to move from one point to another while they are in Homa Bay. So let us take an example. Maybe I'm a tourist. Let's say I'm in Rusinga Lodge Annex. So I want to, maybe I'm out of cash and I want to go to the nearest bank from the hotel where I'm in. So you will just enter the coordinates of where you are at the moment. And so we are coming now to the amenities now. Maybe the tourist uses Equity Bank. And so the beauty of this tool of searching here, now it gives you the features that are nearby to you. So I'm in need of an Equity Bank. So we can see from the map that it has filtered and show you the nearest Equity Bank to you. And so from the navigation tool, you can now enter the location of the Equity Bank. And so this will provide a route to the tourist as how he or she can reach Equity Bank with ease. So you can choose either you want to drive to Equity Bank or you want to walk to Equity Bank, whatever the tourist is interested in. And so from this, you can have now, if it is drive time, it is 5 minutes. It will take you 5 minutes to reach the Equity Bank. It also provides you the routes or how you're going to reach the Equity Bank. So this explore page helps the tourists to hover around the Homa Bay County and also to navigate through it. Also, this app also, we have included the vacation rentals. So when a tourist wants to visit Homa Bay, so they want to plan on where they are going to stay and be sure how much they will use while in Homa Bay. So there are a number of hotels and lodges we have not mapped for the tourists. Also, we have indicated the services that are provided in these hotels. So a tourist, when he's interested in a certain hotel, maybe can search hotel by location. Maybe I want to stay in a hotel near the lake. And so this will show you where the lake is, or you can just click to on the tab and it will direct you to your location where you want to the hotel is. Also, the final thing from the web app, so we have provided the tourists with the activities that they can do in Homa Bay. So while a tourist wants to come in Homa Bay, we want to show him or her what type of activities that they can perform while in Homa Bay. So this will help the tourists have a lot of interest coming in Homa Bay. So there are a number of activities one can click and show and the location can be showed on the map as to where this location, this type of activity can be done in what part of the tourist attraction. So saying that, I would like to welcome Maggie to wind up with the benefits from the solutions.
Thank you so much, Said, for that wonderful presentation. I would like to take you through the last bit, which is the benefits of the solution. So one of the benefits, I hope you people can see my screen. Okay. One
Yes,
of
please, you
the
can.
okay. One of the benefits, our benefit, sorry, is sorry for that. One of our benefits is to have an efficient and sustainable resource allocation. Remember, as we were doing the survey, using the survey 1 to 3, we want to have a feel from the tourists and all the sectors that are affected with tourism. As we have the response, we'll be able to know where and where to allocate more resources. Hence, we shall have a sustainable resources considering the amount of revenue that it generates to the sector. Then we have improved collaboration between tourism and other departments. So here we have 5 main departments that are affected by tourism. There we have accommodation, we have tourists, we have the trade associations, we have the food services, and together we have now the sites themselves. Now, when we have, maybe we have one of the highest issue maybe we have is on the tourism sector, and we get this from this feedback, we get it from the tourists. We shall be able now to collaborate with the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, whereby we'll need now to have an upgrade of the kind of roads we have. If we need proper planning, like for instance, what we had on the hotspot analysis, we'll be able now to engage the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning for them to give us a proper plan on the areas around the tourist sites. However, there was also another tourist site that I had talked about, the Bala Hot Springs. Previously, that is in the year 2020, it was discovered that it has potential to give energy. So as we discover this as the tourism sector, this information can assist the Ministry of Energy to come up with the other ways. And remember, we also have the Attachees technology. So using the Attachees technology, we can leverage them so that even the Ministry of Energy can be able to use the GIS tools so that we can have a better solution and have geothermal power in the area. Having the geothermal power in the area will help us increase revenue around the area, will also increase employment opportunities. Then we have now the proper marketing of the potential tourist sites. This was evidence using the virtual map tour, whereby once you click to every tourist site, you are able to have a feel. If you want to see Ruma National Park, you are able to see, yes, this is Ruma National Park. It was taking you through. So if this is what you want to visit, you will have at the back of your mind, you'll know what you're going to see. If you want maybe to visit Takawiri Island, you have never to be in an island, you'll be able to see how it looks like, and this will make you to have to be in a position to make better decisions. Then we have easy accessibility of the sites and its amenities with the tools such as the web app. My colleague said has just talked about the web app, that one was assisting you. He gave an example. If you're in one of the hotels and you want to go to Equity Bank, it will give you the direction. Remember, this is a tourist who does not know anything about Homa Bay. So if I'm going to that area, I'll need it's a way of, it shows easy accessibility. So I'll just go through the app. And the good thing with these tools is that you can also use the app via your phone. So you just go through your phone, you click on the app. Yes, you are in this certain hotel. You want to go to Equity, then it will give you direction. It will give you the average drive time. And it will also give you the specific directions. So with this, it can also help them, it can also help the tourists, especially those who are not conversant with the area. Then as we come up to the end of our presentation, that is all we had. But for all this, we did a story map that was presenting all the 3 sectors, that is tourism planning, tourism marketing, and tourism development and research. All this, we documented it using the story map, which is just showed here. So if you go through, the story map will now give us the details of what was in the PPT. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for listening to us. Do we have any question? I'll hand it over back to Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Maggie and Said, for the presentation on leveraging ArcGIS in the tourism industry. It is nice that we have been able to reach here. Thank you all the attendees for being around and listening to these great solutions. I must say that they all have actually used dummy data, as they are actually proof of solution. They are prototypes, and they are showing that yes, ArcGIS can actually be used in these places. Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you so much, Said. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thank you so much, Juma. Thank you so much, Vincent. And thank you so much, Dennis. If we have any questions, please, the floor is open. All the way from the solution for monitoring reforestation. We have had a good session in the chat. If you have any question on that, please feel free to raise up your hand. If you have a question for the ArcGIS solution for distribution and logistics, you still can raise up your hand too. Also, if you have a question concerning the leveraging of ArcGIS in the tourism industry, please feel free, raise a hand and pose your question. If not, you can still use the chat.
All right, I guess there are no questions.
If there are no questions, I would love to hand over to Evelyn, please. Thank you so much. Evelyn.
All right, thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, team, for taking us through the presentations. And I want to thank everyone who's been able to join us. I think I saw Nahashon Nadero from Taita Taveta. Thank you so much. I've seen you really engaged with the team on the chat. Thank you so much for those insights, and everyone else who's joined us. We really appreciate getting time to always join us for the interns presentation. As I mentioned, this is a quarterly program, and throughout the quarter, they're able to learn and leverage the different products that we have to develop solutions. So in case you need any clarifications or you have further inquiries on any of the aspects of the solutions that they have been able to present today, feel free to reach out to us in the email provided. That's sales@esriea.com. Nahashon, I can see you just have a comment. You can actually unmute and just give your comment, and yeah, Nahashon. And anyone else who wants to speak, I can give you a minute or so to just say a word. Nahashon. Thank you for the feedback, Rachel. Thanks for that. Oh yeah, he's saying, remember, GIS is key to modeling the World Cup outcomes. Thank you so much. Let me just try and unmute you. Just a minute, Nahashon.
Hello?
All right, you're right there.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
So greetings from Taita Taveta University, and this is a good session. I've appreciated the work of the interns, ranging from business intelligence to environmental management. And this is promising when we talk of the future of GIS and using data, citizen science, and now we are talking of big data, and how we can use artificial intelligence to generate location-based intelligence, which is also actionable. And the apex should be to shape policy development, because at the highest level, we want policies that can impact society in terms of sustainable outcomes in environment, health, and safety. So in the chat section, they have commented that GIS is also very key when it comes to sports. So if in Kenya, for example, we want to be at the World Cup in 2030. We cannot dismiss GIS because I've been fascinated by the World Cup. I've been modeling it since 2018. And even this year, I've been modeling the outcomes. And GIS is part of the location-based intelligence, abstracting the football pitch as a product of geometry with definite length and width. And you can divide it into polygons, treating it as vector data. And you know the polygons near the penalty area are more critical to scoring based on the launching angle that we know very well is a function of the sine 2 theta. That sine 2 theta determines the range. And so I'm just saying that even as Babu Namwamba, our sports minister, tries to form committees to recalibrate and reinvent our football, we must ensure that location-based intelligence is part of the training, and scientists, geospatial experts, mathematicians, statisticians must be part of the equation. So I invite you to read more from my links, Twitter links, what I've been doing during the World Cup. And I also invite you to be joining the Twitter space where I discuss that, and I use this deliberately to popularize STEM education and GIS education, because GIS is key. We must know where we are, and location-based intelligence is critical now and will be more critical than ever as technology advances and data revolution accelerates. Thank you, and all the best after your internship.
All right, thank you so much, Nahashon, and thanks for those great insights. Thank you also, Nixon. I have seen your comment on the chat. We really appreciate. Before we end this, I am not sure if there's anyone else who has anything to say. Anyone else? Just raise up your hand. I'm just giving us another minute or so. All right, so in case you have any further inquiries, feel free to reach out to us at sales@esri.com for us to be able to showcase some of the solutions that they have presented today. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good afternoon.
Evelyn, we have a hand from Ian Tom.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Ian.
Yeah, I want to thank all of you for participating in our internship project presentation. And thank you for all the comments and the questions. And if you have any more comments and questions, you can also contact us. Thank you very much. And thank you, Evelyn, for the opportunity, and Esri at large. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Juma. I have seen Nick. Nick, your hand is up. Please proceed. Nixon. Nick or Diane?
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, thanks for the wonderful work from the interns. Actually, my comment today is rather unique. Nashon has really captured the essence of it. But towards the end of the presentation, I was joined by my young daughter and son. And I think for today, you've saved me the hassle of trying to explain to them what GIS is.
That's great.
They could understand, and they were really happy about it. And then coincidentally, we come from Homa Bay County, so they've been to most of the sites that were being shown. And I think we have future GIS champions coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Ensure that you mentor those young people to be our future GIS champions. And I'm happy to note that the feedback is that this was quite relatable. So thank you very much for that feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Anyone else before I close this up? Victor, confirm if there's anyone else who has their hand raised so that I don't lock anyone out. Okay, but our channels are open. Feel free to reach out to us in case you need to engage with us further in the emails provided in our social media platforms. And once again, thank you so much for joining us. Have a blessed afternoon.
You too.